The great chamber of the Elder Council fell silent as the holographic display flickered to life. 12 ancient beings, each representing civilizations that had ruled the stars for millions of years, watched as crude radio signals danced across their sensors. The source, a small blue planet in an unremarkable solar system. Another primitive world discovers radio, spoke the first elder, his bioluminescent form pulsing with dim light. How many does this make this century? This one is different, replied the council's chief observer. They call themselves humans. Their technological progress is concerning. The display shifted, showing the rapid advancement of human civilization. From first radio waves to nuclear power, from simple rockets to lunar landings, all in less than 200 years. The elders watched with growing unease as the images continued. They build everything from metal, noted the third elder with disgust. No bioengineering, no neural interfaces, just crude machinery hammered into shape. Miles below the surface of Earth's Pacific Ocean, Admiral James Walker stood in a facility unknown to most of humanity. Before him stretched the largest shipyard ever built by human hands. Massive robotic arms assembled hull plates larger than city blocks, while streams of molten metal poured into molds that would become weapon systems. Status report, Walker commanded, his weathered face reflected in the armored glass of the observation deck. The Thunderchild will be ready for trials next week, sir, reported his aide. The other 5 ships of the first batch are at 80% completion. Walker nodded, watching as sparks cascaded down the side of humanity's first true battleship. They had detected the alien observers years ago. Their bioorganic ships might be nearly invisible to conventional radar, but they couldn't hide their gravity signatures. Earth had been preparing ever since. The elders continued their debate above. They should be guided away from this destructive path, insisted the fourth elder. Their reliance on mechanical technology will only lead to warfare and destruction. I agree, said the first elder. Send observers. Show them the proper way of the stars. The observer team arrived on Earth 3 months later, their ship causing widespread panic despite their attempts at stealth. They requested a meeting with Earth's leaders, expecting to find primitive governmental structures. Instead, they found themselves in a highly organized United Earth Council. We come to welcome you to the galactic community, announced the lead observer, his translator converting his bioelectric speech to sound waves, and to help guide your development. The human representatives listened politely as the observers explained the proper path of civilization, the development of bioorganic technology, the abandonment of crude mechanical solutions, the proper way to build ships. Unknown to the observers, deep in his underwater command center, Admiral Walker watched the meeting with a grim smile. On his screens, the first fleet of Earth's ships continued to grow. The aliens' bioorganic ships were magnificent, yes, delicate works of art that could practically think for themselves. But they had one major weakness. They were alive. And like all living things, they were vulnerable to good old-fashioned kinetic weapons. Let them think we're primitive, Walker muttered to himself, watching as the massive main gun of the Thunderchild underwent its first power cycle test. Let them think we'll follow their path. The weapons capacitors charged with a whine that shook the entire facility. Enough power to punch a hole through a small moon, all focused into a single point. Not bioorganic sophistication, but human engineering at its finest. The aliens would learn soon enough. Humanity didn't need their bioorganic ships or their neural interfaces. They had something better: imagination, determination, and enough steel to build a fleet that would make the cosmos tremble. Captain Thomas Reed stood on the bridge of the UES Thunderchild, watching Earth's sun reflect off his ship's polished hull. The vessel represented humanity's finest achievement: 2 kilometers of hardened steel and advanced weapon systems, hidden from the aliens for 3 years. They're here, his tactical officer reported. 3 bioorganic ships descended from high orbit, their living hulls shifting colors like deep-sea creatures. The elder race representatives had arrived for their guidance demonstration. All hands to stations. Reed ordered calmly. Let's show them what primitive technology can do. The alien ships approached, their elegant forms making the Thunderchild look like a crude block of metal in comparison. The lead alien vessel transmitted a message. We are here to demonstrate proper shipbuilding techniques. Please power down your mechanical systems. Reed smiled. Actually, we'd like to demonstrate our capabilities first. He nodded to his weapons officer. Target the practice drones. 100 kilometers away, robotic targets sprang to life. The aliens watched with mild curiosity as the Thunderchild's main gun rotated. They expected a primitive display of chemical explosives or basic energy weapons. They were wrong. The Thunderchild's main cannon fired. A concentrated beam of energy, powered by a reactor that could have lit up a continent, lanced out. The first target didn't just explode. It vaporized. The beam continued through the space where the target had been, striking a second drone, then a third. All three targets disappeared in less than a second. Silence filled the alien command channel. Reed could imagine their shocked expressions, if they had expressions. That was our smallest weapon, Reed announced. Would you like to see what our broadside batteries can do? The Thunderchild's side erupted with fire. Hundreds of tungsten shells, accelerated to near relativistic speeds, shredded the remaining target field. The display of firepower lasted only moments, but it left nothing larger than dust. Impossible. The alien commander transmitted. Your technology level. You shouldn't be capable of this. Deep within his underwater command center, Admiral Walker watched the demonstration with satisfaction. The alien sensors were busy scanning the Thunderchild, trying to understand how humans had achieved such firepower with primitive technology. They didn't know that the Thunderchild was just the beginning. Below the waves, the first Dreadnought-class vessel was nearing completion. 3 times larger than the Thunderchild, with enough firepower to challenge an entire alien battle fleet. The alien representatives cut their demonstration short. Their bioorganic ships retreated to high orbit, transmitting urgent messages to the Elder Council. Walker intercepted and decoded their communications. The humans are developing along an unprecedented path. Their metal ships possess extraordinary destructive capability. Recommend immediate intervention. The Elder Council convened an emergency session. The first Elder's image pulsed with agitation as he addressed the others. They must be stopped before they build more of these abominations. Such crude weapons have no place in our galaxy. Their metal ships are an offense to proper evolution, agreed another Elder. We should act now, while they are still limited in numbers. But they had waited too long. As the Council debated, the first wave of dreadnoughts emerged from Earth's oceans. 12 massive ships, each powered by engines that could move moons, armed with weapons that could crack planets. Captain Reed watched from the Thunderchild's bridge as the massive vessels took up their orbital positions. The aliens' dismissal of human technology had given Earth the time it needed. Now, humanity was ready. Send a message to command, Reed ordered. Operation Metal Storm is ready to begin. The attack came without warning. 5 bioorganic warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the Mars colony. Their living hulls glowed with stored energy as they prepared to fire on the primitive human settlement. Multiple hostile contacts detected, reported the defense grid eye. Colony shields at maximum power. Captain Anna Stone stood on the bridge of the UES Vengeance, hidden in the shadow of Mars' largest moon, Phobos. Her ship was one of the new dreadnoughts, its dark metal hull absorbing any scan attempts. The aliens hadn't spotted them yet. Let them fire first, she ordered. Let's see what their weapons can do. The alien ships launched their attack. Beams of pure biological energy, developed over millions of years, struck the Mars colony's shields. The barrier held firm, much to the aliens' surprise. They had expected the human defenses to crumble instantly. Shields holding at 90%, the colony reported. No damage to infrastructure. Now it was humanity's turn. All hands, battle stations, Stone commanded. The Vengeance's massive engines ignited, pushing the warship out of its hiding spot. Main batteries, target the lead ship. Fire when ready. The Vengeance's main gun spoke. The concentrated beam of energy, backed by more power than some civilizations used in a year, struck the lead alien vessel. The bioorganic ship's living shields tried to adapt, tried to absorb the energy like they had done countless times before. They failed. The beam cut through the alien ship like a blowtorch through paper, leaving two perfectly separated halves floating in space. Impossible, the alien commander transmitted. Your weapons, they shouldn't exist at your technological level. Stone didn't bother responding. The Vengeance's broadside batteries opened up, filling space with hypersonic tungsten shells. The alien ships tried to dodge, their living hulls flexing and twisting with impossible agility. But they couldn't dodge everything. Two more alien ships died in the next 30 seconds, their bioorganic forms shredded by human weapons. The remaining two vessels attempted to retreat, charging their faster-than-light drives. Don't let them escape. Admiral Walker's voice came through the command channel. The Elder Council needs to understand exactly what they're dealing with. Stone nodded to her weapons officer. The Vengeance's secondary batteries fired, precise shots disabling the alien ship's drive systems. The bioorganic vessels hung helpless in space, their crews broadcasting surrender signals. "This is a mistake," the alien commander transmitted. "You don't understand what you're doing. The elder races have ruled the stars for millions of years. Maybe it's time for some new ideas," Stone replied. She watched as marine boarding teams prepared to capture the disabled alien ships. Humanity would learn everything they could about bioorganic technology, not to copy it, but to better understand how to fight it. In the Elder Council chamber, the news of the battle caused chaos. The first Elder's form pulsed with rage and fear as he addressed the emergency session. "They destroyed 3 of our most advanced warships," he announced. "Their metal monstrosities survived weapons that have won wars for millions of years. How many of these ships do they have?" Another Elder asked. "Unknown. Our scouts report multiple underwater construction facilities on their world. They've been building in secret while we watched and waited." The council chamber erupted in argument. Some called for immediate full-scale war. Others suggested negotiation. But deep down, they all realized the same truth. They had gravely underestimated humanity. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Walker authorized the next phase of Operation Metal Storm. Hundreds of ships, hidden in underwater bases across Earth's oceans, prepared to surface. The real war was about to begin. The oceans of Earth boiled, not from heat, but from movement. Hundreds of massive metal shapes broke the surface, water cascading off their armored hulls. The hidden fleet of humanity was finally revealing itself. Admiral Walker stood on the bridge of the UES Titan, the largest warship ever built by human hands. 5 kilometers of hardened steel and advanced weapons systems rose from the Pacific Ocean, its shadow darkening the waters below. "All ships report ready for combat," his fleet commander reported. 350 vessels, fully armed and crewed. The Elder Council's response fleet arrived moments later. 2,000 bioorganic ships filled Earth's orbit, their living hulls shimmering with barely contained energy. They had brought enough firepower to subdue a dozen worlds. "Impressive," Walker said, watching the alien armada through the bridge viewport. "But they still don't understand." The alien commander's transmission reached every human ship. "Your resistance is futile. The elder races have ruled space for millions of years. Surrender your crude vessels and accept our guidance." Walker smiled. "All ships, battle formation Delta. Show them what metal can do." The human fleet moved with precision that shocked the aliens. Ships that seemed too large to be graceful formed perfect combat lines. The elder races had expected chaos and primitive tactics. Instead, they faced a precisely choreographed dance of steel and fire. "First wave, engage," Walker ordered. 100 human ships opened fire simultaneously. Their main guns, powered by reactors that could outshine stars, sent beams of concentrated energy into the alien fleet. Bioorganic hulls that had evolved over millions of years to resist energy weapons found themselves facing power levels they had never encountered. 30 alien ships died in the first volley. Impossible. The alien commander broadcast. Your technology is too primitive for such weapons. The alien fleet counterattacked. Biological energy beams and living torpedoes streaked toward the human ships. But humanity had studied the elder race's weapons for years. Their shields, designed specifically to counter bioorganic attacks, held firm. Second wave. Commence broadside barrage, Walker commanded. The space around Earth, filled with tungsten shells, accelerated to speeds that made them as destructive as small nuclear weapons. The alien ships tried to dodge, their living hulls twisting and flexing with impossible agility. But there were too many shells, too many angles of attack. More alien ships died, their beautiful bioorganic forms torn apart by humanity's primitive weapons. They're regrouping, reported Walker's tactical officer. New formation detected. The alien fleet was adapting, trying to find patterns in human tactics. But Walker had planned for this. He had studied historical naval battles for years, learning from humanity's past to prepare for this future. All ships execute maneuver broken mirror, he ordered. The human fleet split into smaller groups, each acting independently, but part of a larger strategy. The alien commander tried to predict their movements, tried to counter what seemed like chaos. They fight like no species we've ever encountered, the alien commander transmitted to his fleet. Their tactics make no sense. But they did make sense to anyone who had studied human warfare. Each seemingly random movement was part of a trap, drawing the alien ships into killing zones where human weapons could strike from multiple angles. More alien ships died. The elder race's fleet, which had seemed overwhelmingly powerful at first, was being systematically torn apart by human ingenuity and firepower. Signal from the alien flagship, reported Walker's communications officer. They're requesting a ceasefire. Walker watched as his fleet continued its deadly dance through space, human metal against alien biology. The elder races were learning a harsh lesson. Sometimes the old ways weren't the best ways. News of the battle spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. The elder race's defeat at Earth shocked civilizations that had existed for millions of years. But for the younger members of these ancient species, the human victory sparked something else. Curiosity. Captain Thomas Reed stood in a massive shipyard orbiting Mars, watching as alien engineers studied the construction of a new human battleship. Unlike their elders, these younger aliens saw opportunity rather than heresy in human technology. Your metal ships, spoke a young alien engineer, his bioluminescent form glowing with excitement. They're not crude at all. They're brilliant in their simplicity. Reed nodded, pointing to the ship's framework. Steel doesn't try to think for itself. It doesn't need to evolve or adapt. It simply does its job, exactly as we built it to do. More aliens arrived each day. Scientists, engineers, and warriors from a dozen worlds, all seeking to learn from humanity. The Elder Council had forbidden such exchanges, but their authority was weakening. Deep in his command center, Admiral Walker received reports from across known space. 3 more Elder race colonies have requested human protection, his intelligence officer reported. They fear retaliation from the Council hardliners. Walker studied the strategic display. The galaxy was changing. The Elder race's grip on power, maintained for millions of years through their bioorganic technology, was slipping. Humanity's victory had shown there were other paths to the stars. Our shipyards are receiving cooperation requests from 15 alien worlds, another officer reported. They want to learn how to build metal ships. In the Elder Council chamber, the debate raged. The first Elder's form pulsed with anger as younger representatives challenged centuries of tradition. These humans prove that our way is not the only way, declared a younger council member. We have stagnated, clinging to the same bioorganic technology for millions of years. Heresy. The first elder thundered. Our ways have guided civilization since before humans crawled from their oceans. But the younger members would not be silenced. More voices joined the call for change, for cooperation with humanity. The council fractured as more species chose sides. On a distant elder race colony, Captain Anna Stone watched from the bridge of the UES Vengeance as human engineers helped install defensive systems. The colony's inhabitants had rejected the Council's authority, choosing to ally with Earth. The Council fleet approaches, her tactical officer reported. 500 ships, all hardliners loyal to the First Elder. Stone smiled. 200 human vessels moved into defensive positions around the colony. The aliens watched in awe as the metal fleet prepared for battle. They still don't understand, Stone said. This isn't about whose technology is better. It's about being willing to try new things, to learn and grow. The Council fleet arrived, their bioorganic ships taking up attack positions, but they faced something unexpected. Hybrid vessels, combining human metal with alien biology. The younger aliens had already begun adapting human concepts to their own technology. All ships, defensive formation, Stone ordered. Show them what cooperation can achieve. The First Elder's voice boomed across all channels. You corrupt our pure technology with your metal abominations. You must be stopped. But even as he spoke, more Elder race ships broke formation, turning to join the human defenders. The old order was crumbling, not through force alone, but through the power of innovation and change. Walker received the battle report hours later. The hardliners had retreated, unable to face the combined forces of human ingenuity and alien wisdom. A new age was beginning, whether the Elder Council liked it or not. The First Elder stood in his command chamber, watching as the last loyal fleets gathered. 3,000 bioorganic ships, the largest armada ever assembled, prepared for one final attack on Earth. It would be their last chance to stop the spread of human influence. The metal users must be destroyed, he declared to his commanders. We cannot allow their corruption to spread further. But humanity had been preparing for this moment. Admiral Walker stood in Earth's orbital command station, studying the defense grid displays. Thousands of satellites and automated platforms surrounded the planet, each armed with weapons that could tear apart bioorganic ships. They're coming, reported his sensor officer. Multiple jump signatures detected, more ships than our initial estimates. Walker remained calm. Activate the minefield. All ships to battle stations. The space around Earth came alive. Hidden weapons platforms powered up, while clouds of smart minds awakened from their sleep. Human ingenuity had turned the entire solar system into one massive trap. The Elder race fleet arrived in waves, their bioorganic ships filling the sky above Earth. The First Elder's voice boomed across all frequencies. Surrender now, or we will destroy everything you have built. Captain Reed, commanding the defense of Earth's northern hemisphere, watched the alien armada with steady eyes. All ships, maintain position. Let them come to us. The alien fleet advanced, their living ships moving in patterns perfected over millions of years. They expected to face a desperate defense. Instead, they found silence. No response from the humans, reported an alien commander. Their ships aren't moving. The First Elder gave the order. Begin the attack. Show them the true power of bioorganic supremacy. The alien fleet fired. Thousands of biological energy beams struck Earth's defense grid. Shields flared, absorbing the incredible power. But they held. Then humanity revealed its trap. Activate Defense Plan Omega, Walker commanded. The mines detonated, not with simple explosions, but with precisely calculated force that created a web of gravitational distortions. Bioorganic ships, dependent on their ability to sense and navigate space naturally, suddenly found themselves blind and confused. Now, Walker ordered, human ships emerged from hiding spots throughout the solar system. Not hundreds, but thousands. The true size of Earth's fleet, hidden until this moment, was finally revealed. Impossible. The first Elder rage. They couldn't have built so many. But they had. While the Elder races watched Earth's known shipyards, humanity had been building in secret facilities throughout the asteroid belt and beyond. Now those ships emerged, their metal hulls reflecting sunlight as they moved into attack position. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries. Bioorganic ships, their elegant forms twisting in space, clashed with human vessels that seemed crude but fought with deadly precision. But the aliens were trapped, caught in humanity's web of mines and gravitational distortions. All ships, execute final attack pattern, Walker commanded. His fleet moved as one, thousands of metal vessels closing in from all directions. The first Elder watched in horror as his fleet was systematically torn apart. Human weapons, combined with their devious tactics, proved unstoppable. His own ship shuddered as multiple impacts breached its living hull. "This is impossible," he transmitted. "We are the Elder races. We have ruled space for millions of years." Walker's response was simple. Perhaps it's time for that to change. The battle ended not with a grand explosion, but with silence. The first Elder's flagship, surrounded by human vessels, powered down its weapons. Across the solar system, the remaining alien ships surrendered one by one. Earth had won. Not just a battle, but the right to forge a new path among the stars. 1 year after the Great Battle of Earth, the galaxy had changed forever. In the rebuilt council chamber, humans sat alongside aliens as equals. The massive room now featured both the organic architecture of the Elder races and the steel and glass styling of human design. Admiral Walker stood before the new council, his uniform crisp as he addressed the gathered representatives. The first Elder, now stripped of his leadership, but allowed to remain as an advisor, watched from a corner. "The age of separation is over," Walker declared. "We've proven that different approaches can work together, that no single path leads to the stars." Around Earth's orbit, shipyards displayed this new unity. Human engineers worked alongside alien biotechnologists, creating vessels never seen before. Metal hulls housed living components, while bioorganic systems were reinforced with steel and advanced alloys. Captain Stone commanded one of these new hybrid ships, the UES Harmony. Its metal frame contained chambers of living tissue that could heal damage, while human-designed weapons gave it unprecedented fighting power. Engineering reports all systems stable, her alien second-in-command reported, his bioluminescent form pulsing with pride. "The fusion of our technologies exceeds all expectations." In the Mars shipyards, Captain Reed oversaw the training of the first joint human-alien crews. Young aliens eager to learn human methods worked alongside human officers studying bioorganic technology. The distinction between primitive and advanced had disappeared. "Your metal ships taught us that newer doesn't always mean better," a young alien engineer told Reed. "Sometimes the simple solution is the right one." The first Elder supporters had been given a choice: adapt to the new way or retire to isolated colonies. Most chose to adapt, their millions of years of experience proving valuable when combined with human innovation. "We were wrong," the first Elder admitted to Walker during a private meeting. "We thought age brought wisdom, but it had brought stagnation instead." Across the galaxy, other civilizations watched and learned. The human victory had shown that challenging old assumptions could lead to greatness. New ships, new weapons, and new ways of thinking emerged from dozens of worlds. In Earth's underwater command center, now a museum of the war, visitors from 100 worlds came to learn. They studied the planning that had gone into humanity's defense, the careful preparation that had turned apparent weakness into strength. "The Elder races thought we would follow their path," Walker explained to a group of alien students. "Instead, we showed them a new one." The greatest change came in the form of joint exploration missions. Human metal ships, enhanced with bioorganic sensors, pushed deeper into unknown space than ever before. They discovered wonders that neither humanity nor the elder races could have found alone. "This is what we fought for," Stone said, watching from her hybrid ship's bridge as a joint fleet prepared to explore a newly discovered galaxy cluster. "Not to prove we were better, but to prove that different isn't wrong." The first elder, in his final public statement before retiring, summed up the lesson his people had learned. "For millions of years, we thought we were nurturing civilization. Instead, we were holding it back. The humans, with their primitive metal ships, taught us that true wisdom lies not in age, but in the willingness to learn and change." As Walker looked out at the combined fleet preparing for its historic journey, he smiled. Humanity had done more than prove itself among the stars. It had helped create something entirely new, a civilization that valued both tradition and innovation, that combined the best of the old and the new. The stars waited, and for the first time in millions of years, they would be explored by a truly united galaxy.